So today we've got a solar power station from AIVOLT. Well, let's open it up. Here's our accessory box. Let's see what we got. Okay, so our car charger, our AC charging cable. Oh, okay, so our AC charging brick, power brick that goes along with the cable. This is a 48 volt, 2.5 amp, 120 watt. And then our manual. The battery is 891.7 watt hour. The inverter output is 800 watts. And I think I read somewhere where it's a 1600 watt surge. The PV input is 18 to 25 volts, 15 amps max. And here's the unit. Has a nice carrying handle at the top. Looks like a wireless phone charging there. We've got multiple inputs here. I'm guessing one of these is for like the power brick input. It says the car or solar. Okay, so this is the car charger. Here we have the cigarette lighter jack output. We have two barrel jack outputs. We have two USB-C 65 watt and then two USB fast charge. Then we have three AC receptacles. Two of them have the grounding pins. The center one does not. And on the side, we have some jacks. It looks like banana plug jacks. And it just says parallel right here, so I don't know what that is exactly. It looks like we have a flashlight on the back and nothing on this side. Let's see if we can power this thing on. There it is. It says it's at 40%. So let's plug in the AC power adapter into the input. There we go. Looks like we are charging at 102 watts. So I'm thinking that's what this says right here is going to be 5 hours for it to fully charge. Now I wonder if you can turn the AC side on while it's charging. That looks like it came on. What do you guys think? You think we could turn this air conditioner on with it? Let's try it. Let's plug it into one of those grounded slots. We'll plug the other side into the air conditioner. I heard it beep. Let's see if we can turn it on. It's on low. I wonder if the compressor will start up. Oh! Uh-oh. I think we're killing this thing. I don't think it's gonna do it. Nah, it just shut. It just went on to just the fan. It can't get the compressor to start. Oh well. We tried. I didn't think that was gonna work really. This one, it kind of starts up a little bit harder than the one in my garage. The one in my garage is the standalone one, the portable one, and it seems like it starts up easier than this guy does. All right, so let's try solar charging. And unfortunately, it did not come with an MC4 to Anderson adapter, but I did have one on hand. So you'll either have to buy one or make one if you want to connect to a standard solar panel. A lot of people will be hooking these up to like a foldable panel. A lot of those foldable panels have this kind of plug already. So I could see why they would not necessarily add it, but it would have been nice. So before we plug that in, I've just got this single 130 watt, 12 volt solar panel, because you can't really use higher than that because, well, you could use a higher wattage, but you can't use a higher voltage because this only allows 25 volts. All right, so let's plug it in, see what we get. I'm seeing 42 watts. Let me see if I can angle that panel and get a better output. 45 watts. Really? It seems incredibly low. That's a 130 watt panel. Yeah, I don't get why it's only allowing 40 watts. That is not very good. I've gotten a lot more out of that panel. It usually doesn't give me 130 watts, but you know, I've got it angled perfectly actually. I should be getting a lot more. And it's even going down. It says it's only at 41%. I'm wondering if the battery is actually more charged than it's saying there, because this doesn't make much sense. Let's turn the AC on and then we'll try to drain some power. So I've got a fan attached and we're pulling 160 watts out, but we're still only getting 32 on the solar. Okay, well, now I'm getting 60 because I changed to this foldable solar panel. So maybe there's something wrong with this one. All right, let me try some other solar panel configurations. All right, so I was able to get up to 127 watts on the solar input, and I had to use this SunPower 110 watt panel, and then I hooked it up to this folding panel, and that's 100 watt, and that's 110 watts. So 210 watts, 127 watts out of it. Sometimes you don't get all the power that you would normally get out of two different types of panels in parallel. The voltages may not be super compatible. Yeah, so with all the panels that I've got that would work in this voltage range, the most I can get was 127 watts. All right, so we played around with the solar. Let's play around with the AC output now. Let's see what the inverter can do. Now I've got this 1600 watt induction cooktop. Now, of course, we're not going to run it at 1600 watts. We're going to run it at something much lower. But let's go ahead and plug it in, and let's set it at as low as it'll go. So it's on a 1, and what 1 does is it pulls like 500 watts, 600 watts, and then goes down to 0. So let's do 2, level 2. That should hold us steady. There we go. We got around 590 watts. So let's try to boil some water. Oh yeah, and by the way, I did fully charge it. It's drained down to 98 now since we've been running the induction cooktop, but it was at 100. So we'll see if it will hold up while we try to boil probably about a cup of water in a cast iron skillet. So the cast iron is thick, so it will take some power just to warm up the cast iron. But I don't really have any other, I cook on cast iron. I don't use really anything else, because why would you? This stuff just works fantastic and it lasts forever. We definitely can do this. Oh, we're already at 157 Fahrenheit. All right. I'm seeing some steam. See that? It's kind of fogging up the camera lens. So I'm just starting to see a little bubble going on right there. So yeah, it's not going to take us very long probably to get this thing boiling. 96%, still pulling 570, 580 watts, something like that. Here we go. We're getting some bubbling. Now, of course, if it's cold outside, obviously this is going to take longer. It is hot outside. We're at 96. 96.6 right now. So keep that in mind. Yeah, it looks like we're 94%. It's probably going to take I'm estimating a whole 10% to get a good boil on this. So can you sterilize some water? Yeah, absolutely. Now if you get an induction cooktop like this, basically when you turn, if you have a pan already setting on it and you turn it on, it starts off on 8, which is like the highest level. That's probably going to trip this thing. It may run it for a little bit, but you're going to have to hurry up, press this power button, and start bringing it down. What I do is I start it up with the pan off, and it gives you some time before it starts complaining that there's no pan on there. So if you start it up, you push start, no pan on, push power, and then you can start running this thing down. Then put your pan on and everything's all good. Almost 200 degrees. Alright, so I want to raise this up, and I think number 3 probably puts us above what this should be. Let's see what happens. So we're on level 3. Yeah, look, we're doing 920 something watts, 930 something watts. Oh, we're really starting to boil now. Oh, I think it's, yeah, it shut down. So that makes sense. We were well over the 800 watts. So let's try to start that inverter again. There we go. I did it real fast. So we're back to 2. So number 2 is the highest you could get on an 800 watt inverter like this. It'll work, as you can see. You could definitely warm up some soup. You could kill bacteria and microbes in this water. Obviously we're at 194. So according to Google, 149 degrees Fahrenheit is the temp at which it kills 99.99% all microbes in the water. So if we've got it at, yeah, 199, almost 200 now, everything's dead in there. You would easily warm up canned foods and things like that. Alright, so let's move on to some other stuff. Let's try out the USB ports and whatnot. Alright, let's charge my laptop up, which is obviously completely dead. Let's try one of the USB-C 65 watt ports. Okay. 36. Well, I saw it go 36 watts. Okay, there we go. 35. My laptop just came on. We're pulling 51 watts. It says my battery's at 1%. The power source is power adapter, which would be this, but it's not. It's actually, the power source right now is the AIVOLT VP800 power station. It says it's going to take 2 hours and 24 minutes to fully charge it. That's pretty good. Oh, and around back, we do have that light that we tried to turn on earlier that didn't come on because the unit wasn't on. There it is. Pretty bright. That'll work perfect for camping or trying to get around your house. Alright, and looking at the manual, I can't really tell exactly the battery that's used. It doesn't say lithium iron phosphate in the manual. It doesn't say lithium iron phosphate on the Amazon listing. But it does say lithium ion, which lithium iron phosphate is a lithium ion kind of battery. But since it doesn't specify lithium iron phosphate, I'm going to assume it's NMC. So your basic lithium NMC cells. Alright guys, so I think that's going to be the end of the video. Give me your comments. You know, tell me what you think about this thing. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.